Hi, I'm the Free American Thinker, and I wanted to talk about I wanted to dive deeper into free will and the thinking of free will and the law of free will in the universe, which is a consciousness law. It's a geometry to consciousness of free will that's given to you. So if you go back to certain religious texts, or really any text, there's always the statement that you were made in the divine image of source, of God. And as we were talking about, you are nodes off the consciousness strand, and so you are part of the strand, but you are in and of itself your own node. What is in addition to that power of that is that's where you get into individualism and free will, and the law of free will. But because God has free will, and because you were made in His image, you have the free will as well. And what that basically means is there's a universal law in the universe that should never be broken, which is the idea of a tyrant, which is overriding and taking the free will of someone else, or enslavement. So that is why, this can get into some interesting conversations, but that's why, people always say, where's the aliens? Where's the extraterrestrials? How come they're not here? Well, if you're an extraterrestrial, if you have technology that allows you to, move across the universe faster than the speed of light, those technologies would allow you to destroy your own civilization like that. So you would have to have evolved to a level of consciousness without destroying yourself to even be able to get over to this side of the galaxy. So it's not that they're not coming because they can. It's because we haven't invited them, because we haven't acknowledged and reached out to say, hey, come and visit. We are giving up, we are giving or lending our free will to let you come and visit us. It's the same idea as letting someone come into your house. The idea of robbing someone's house, breaking and entering into someone's house is very wrong, because you're breaking the law of the universe of free will. You're choosing to break into someone's house without asking. But if you were to knock on someone's door, ask, may I enter into your house? The other person then has the free will to choose whether or not to acknowledge they let you in. Right there, boom, that's the idea of the door. That's the idea of, everyone's right, or everyone's free will that they have, and the consciousness that goes into asking consciously for someone else's permission to do something with someone else. Right, that goes into the idea of rape and all these other terrible things, which is you are destroying and breaking the universal law of contract in the universe, which is the law of free will. You never break that law. You never erode and break the law of free will. So that's where we that's where we talk into contract law. And I'm just looking at some notes here. That's where you allow to someone to choose for you, which is a legal agreement, essentially. And there are legal agreements in other dimensions as well for spiritual contracts. That can get into some esoterical stuff, and there's some religious views on that have some very interesting perspectives on it. But that's the idea of, you having a contract with your parents before you were born and enter your body. So when you lend your free will, or when you let someone choose for you, when you consciously acknowledge that, obviously in a sober state of mind too, there's that aspect as well. You are giving someone the permission to make a decision for you, to choose for you. That is the idea of a leader, right? The idea of an elected leader, of a political leader, a representative in Republican government. You are giving up or acknowledging to allow this person to represent you and make decisions on your behalf for you. That's the idea of a will, right? I will this person to make decisions on my behalf when I'm gone, or if I'm in a state, in a hospital or something. So I wanted to just kind of touch on that. It's really interesting to think about. We can go into it even more. But the understanding is that this all comes back down to consciousness. Everything is consciousness and light first. And once you understand that individualism, it actually makes perfect sense to understand America and what the Founding Fathers were talking about with the Constitution and the idea to be a free person. That's the idea of liberty. Liber as the root term for a free man, a man of free thinking, a man who is free to think for himself, or woman. And that is where liber comes from for liberal or libertarian, or for liberty. That is the idea of freedom. And once you understand the consciousness of your soul and your love and light, it is so obviously apparent that this is the only way to do business on this planet in any form of a government, if we're going to talk about American government. So that is free will. That is the idea of acknowledging and letting someone take over or take temporarily for a certain type of a decision, your choice to do something for you. I just slipped. I'm trying to get out of this chair. God bless.